Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a fellow of Law Institute of Canada, broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. brokerage. I'm also principal broker of Canada Express Mortgage Inc. license 13241. Tonight we have chosen a few topics: affordable housing, mortgage variable rates, and market update. We'll give you an update about market 2022 January. So let's talk about the affordability. As we have indicated before in our previous program, the affordability has really become a big issue because prices have skyrocketed. And we have given you reports about what happened in December all year 2021. So especially it's affecting the first-time home buyers and also low-income Canadian, particularly Ontarians who are living here and they can't afford it. Rental has gone up significantly. So what's happening? This is, as you know, this 2022 is a year where municipal election and also Ontario government election will be held. So everybody is looking at to see how we can improve the affordable housing. So affordable housing is, for example, in Ontario, we have a Peel region. Peel region have a Peel region housing that they subsidize. They work with the private sector. They create social housing. And social housing is very on the rise and the agenda of the Ontario government, because people are complaining they can't afford their house, and it's really affecting the low-income families across Ontario, because we live and practice in Ontario, so we talk about Ontario. So what is really social housing? Social housing is a subsidized housing program that is organized by the Ontario government, and they work with the various regions to implement that. And when there is a quality of subsidized home or affordable housing is created, it affects the neighborhood market. And this is one of the challenge that the government will be facing, because they are going into election in June, hopefully, and they will say how we create a quality affordable housing. The government has provided some funding to encourage home builders and subdivisions to create more apartments and increase the inventory, build more housing. But affordability is an issue, because at the moment, even a townhome is almost $1 million, either 905 or 416 area. And then apartments are, depending on the size, average price is over 760 in 416 and 720 in 905 area. So that is where the government is thinking where we can afford. Now, if the government cannot lend money to the private sector, because the private entrepreneur, where builder and the developer has to invest their own money, but they control the market, they control the prices, they control how they release the new housing in the marketplace. We're hoping that the federal government, Ontario government, and municipality come up with a digitized, fully integrated approval system, where their approval can be expedited, is based on certain standards, and is go through very fast process instead of having these red tapes, which takes months and years to get approval. As you all know, that even though new housing are being built, but you can predict that. I think I did a little post recently on social media that it's going to take 24 to 36 months the day you get the approval, when the construction starts, and the time you get a house or condominium will be even higher, because there's a lot of utilities and a lot of other works happens. So there is at least 36 months. Biggest challenge we have is we have immigration. Over 100,000 immigrants are coming in 2022. We already have a shortage of housing. And we have lots of Canadians that are staying overseas, non-residents, because of pandemic. They are thinking to come back, and when they come back, they will be buying properties, and they will have a more buying power than the local residents to buy a house in Ontario. So therefore, it is creating a lot of pressure on Ontario government because we practice in Ontario. Therefore, we talk about Ontario. So what is Ontario social housing? What they are trying to do? So basically, they were trying to create more affordable housing. They want to invest. They want to be in a goodwill of the people, the common people, people who can't afford. Their income is low. They do vote. They have the voting power. So this was a big issue in the election, federal election last year in September. We haven't seen any changes coming from the federal government in terms of how the real estate is governed, where they have the jurisdiction. But most the mandate is in Ontario or the municipality where they control certain approval process. So this is why what they're doing is they're trying to use the buildings or land available to Ontario government to create affordable housing and move people to those locations if they can afford it. Again, it's election time, but the problem is when you are creating social housing, it creates a lot of impact on the property value. And common assumption is that when there is a social development in the area, people don't object to it because they have to go to the approval process, and they don't want to see low-cost housing or social housing in their neighborhood because it's impact the value of the property. And this is one of the big challenge that the government will be facing when they're going to say, I want to build a house near a area which is influenced by luxury homes or a good home. Now, when they determine the value of a property, they look at the location. We always talk about location. Obviously, location is connected with amenities, your school, the fireplace, the hospital, and other recreation facility, community center. Those are affected. So now what do you do about it? So social housing, which is part of what the Ontario government is planning to do to create more affordable housing, how they're going to choose the property? How are they going to use areas away from the city, or they're going to have their lands and convert them into the housing or rebuild them? So this is where the issue is. Each province is facing different challenges because they are now have this mandate. They have to do something about it. So if federal government election has happened in September, they couldn't do much about it. Mostly the province have jurisdiction about the affordability of housing. The federal government will be providing funding. They have multi-years plans, and they are trying to provide support for structure and other supporting activities, and some loans and some programs and not-for-profit organization. But at the end of the day, it's the province that has the power to create social housing or affordable housing, or they can work with the private sector to subsidize them. Again, it's going to be affecting the market if you are building a subsidized or social housing in a nice neighborhood. You're going to have objection, it's going to linger on, and then election promise that if there is one, it will be not carried out because it affects the neighborhood, the property value. So when there is a proposed plan for social housing that is basically affordable housing, then they have to look at what's going on in the marketplace. What is the value of the property in the area, and where can we put those affordable or social housing in the area? I am very keen, and I'm always suggest that we have plenty of land in province of Ontario. Why don't we build more cities beside the 401 corridor or 403 going toward Niagara or going toward London, and have a a new fast train to stop and provide them a new development in the areas where accessibility should not be an option. I think there was a plan for mass transit infrastructure investment, but I don't know what happens. We already got into fiscal challenges because federal government has borrowed so much money to help citizens. We all benefited a little bit when we were down, our income was down because of COVID. But the problem is that when we accumulate our debt, we will have a less money for us to spend on the future program if we keep borrowing it and not to think physically responsibly to make sure we pay for it. So issue again is how to pay for this program, social affordable housing, or government should enter into agreement with the builders who or the developers who already have a land to tell them to build more housing, and they will give them some incentive for increasing production, which probably will be more effective than you spending your own bureaucratic mandate of a region to spend more money on administration, because cost of administration is more significant even the program itself. So if you have a $10 million or $100 million project, your administration cost is almost $80-90 million. What's the purpose? It's not effective. It's not benefiting the masses. So therefore, it's very, very important that they can work with the private sector to help them implement their agenda to create housing, and then make it more affordable. First of all, approval process has to be changed. Therefore, people can afford, because if they can expedite the approval process, it will provide more inventory in the near future. This is very important. So I would say at least minimum Ontario government and the municipal cities, they can agree to a expeditious approval process for the builders, and they encourage the builders to bring more product in the marketplace. Obviously, pandemic has affected the cost of production, efficiency, shortage of labor. Therefore, we already have a challenge where the cost of production or manufacturing has gone up. The still manufacturing of certain things are not up to the par or to the speed. Steel, wood, all those steps, because there is a shortage of labor. People have received government subsidies, and they don't like to get back to work. So there could be some changes that needs to be made to make sure that there is an attractive package coming from the builder to hire more construction workers, because there is a need for construction workers in Ontario to work and build those projects. Now, this is very important because the value of the property has gone up regardless of location. And we need to talk with the consultant, engineers, professional architects, planners. Where can we build them? And I think we should have a conversation with also our real estate trade organization, Ontario Real Estate Association. URIA can also help. We can provide you feedback through our president of URIA, Tom Hudak. He's a brilliant personality. He's politically connected and also amazing person. He can be connected to get some feedback on real estate point of view. So this is why it's very important. I think there was a committee that Tim Hodak was also presented, and he's a part of the committee, and we're very happy for that he's joining it, because this is not a problem of just one of the government. It's a problem for everyone, especially real estate professionals. Our livelihood depends with real estate. Right now, the way inventory is, we are 40% inventory, and more than 100% people are willing to buy the property. So our inventory is much, much less, and we need to help to increase that. And obviously, sellers is a market now because there is a shortage of housing. So this is why it's very, very important for for all the people who are involved in real estate industry, Ontario government. If you want to create social housing, you think about out of the box. Should I work with the builders to give them incentive to increase inventory, production, and give them incentive? If you produce more housing, we give you bonuses or some incentive, tax break, input tax credit. That way, it will encourage them to build more housing cost efficiently. Also, Ontario government and municipality agree to have a better digitized remote approval process where they can expedite approvals to get more inventory in the marketplace, put them in construction. Obviously, manufacturing has suffered because of pandemic. Production of the material has gone down, and this is where the challenge is. So we have to kind of work. Ontario government has to work. Now, they are in election year. As you know, Ontario election is in this June, and also municipal election. So this is a lifetime opportunity for you to talk to your candidates who are seeking your help and vote. What are you going to solve our affordable housing problem? How? And what incentive you're giving? Get their feedback from them and tell them to hold on to it. Ask every candidate on the provincial government who is seeking your support. Tell me, what are you doing with affordable housing? So every citizen who is suffering, can afford, low income, can have a house, a shelter, and have a dignity and respect for his family without affecting the market condition. It's always supply and demand. If you have more supplies and less demand, you can see it's a buyer market. When you have a shortage of supply and more demand, it is a seller's market. So right now we have a seller's market. So we expect that even our councillor, they will be seeking election. And we will be talking to our mayor as well. What are you planning to do to work with the provincial government to get this approval process? What steps our city or Peel region, city of Mississauga, Vaughan, or Brampton, what step they have taken to make sure they make life easy for the builders to get their approval and they're building the permits so they can start construction? I'm sure they are doing it, but the only thing they need to share with us so we know they are doing it. Obviously, government of Ontario wants to increase social housing, which is going to impact the value of the property. Is existing building, they want to expand it, or they're going to rebuild something, they have a land, depending on location. But let's get going to make sure we have housing for every Ontario who can afford it, who has who has saved money to put down. And there are special programs with the CMHC. You can go and visit cmhc.com or .ca and find out, because there are incentive for buying, input tax credit. There's a property tax rebate about $4,000. There is a federal government incentive for about $5,000 input tax credit. And there are other benefits, especially when you're buying a new home and you certify this is the first time you are buying it, and the government will give you a rebate which builder will claim. And if you are buying as a principal residence, but if you buy as a commercial, as an investor, it is a different story. And then you end up paying the HST, and then obviously you can reclaim once you rent the property and you take possession and you rent it, and you can claim back input tax credit from CRA. So this is very important to talk about affordable housing. This is the best time for you to start talking to your representative. And anytime if you have any question, please give me a call. My direct number is 416-451-3489. I'd be more than happy to connect with you. Also, you can provide feedback. Call for Awaz Entertainment, 416-786-9809. Not only that you can get a special advertising rate because you're watching or subscriber or Realty Coffee Talk, but you can also provide feedback about our program live on Facebook. You can subscribe to Awaz Entertainment and also YouTube. You also have Instagram, LinkedIn. everywhere you can see that our program is broadcast, and it's broadcast at 7 p.m. on Thursday every night. Now, the other topic that we want to talk about it. So I am hoping that you will be talking to your candidates, and you can call me 416-451-3489 and give me the feedback, so then we can air them and we can invite them and we talk with them about what the government is doing. Are they going to go towards social housing, or they're going to provide more creatively solution to give incentive to the builders because they have the land, they have the permit, they're ready to build, instead of doing a condominium for rent. They can do rental, or they can create a condominium for working with the Ontario government to have a more socialized economic housing, which does not impact the market. Now, the other important thing is called mortgage rates. Most of the cases, preferably Ontario likes to have variable rates. Variable rates right now are significantly low as compared to the fixed rate. But it used to be open variable, and it is no longer open variable, is always open variable fixed, depending on the terms, 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years, or 10 years. Advantage of that is that you are paying very low interest rate, so you're paying, and you can afford the flexibility of price hike, because it may be a less than 1% to up to 2.31%, variable to fixed rate, depends on it. All banks advertise certain rates, but they negotiate privately and give you a better deal. So those, when you have a fixed rate and you take the risk, only thing you will take, when you have a fixed income and you know that your income is limited, it's not going to jump so high so quickly, or you run the risk of losing a job. If you have variable rates, you're okay. But what will happen if Bank of Canada raise the interest rate? Normally, emotionally, humanly, we get panic. Oh my God, interest rates are going up. But look at this. Let's assume you have been paying 1% variable for 2 years, 3 years. Okay. Now you have 2 more years term left, and they just increase quarter point, or maybe twice, half a point altogether. But fixed rate, the day you got it could be 2%, almost double. So you still have saved the money. Unless it go very rapidly, which I don't think will happen because of the economic condition right now we have. But what will happen is the people get panicky when they see, oh, Bank of Canada is increasing the rates. But you look at the calculation. If you've been paying 1% for a period of time, and if the rate quarter inch, we're still way lower than the fixed rate you have. Let's say 2.31 to maybe 2.45. You're still lower. But the only thing is that it's very fragile because it can jump. Nobody controls the rates. In fact, the government doesn't control the rates. The bank decides based on their own decision, their own analytical approach they use. So the risk is, can you afford the fluctuation of payment on a monthly basis? That is the reason. You have to think about it. If it has a significant increase because of fluctuation of rate and your affordability is up, you may not be able to afford your mortgage. And not necessarily you have just the mortgage. You may have a line of credit like anybody else. You have a student loans. You have a car payments. You have all utility, mortgage payment, everything else adds up. Some special needs in the family for the child. So this all adds up. So why you take the risk? So you need to calculate that. This is what you got to talk to your mortgage broker. I'm a principal broker with Canada Express Mortgaging license number 13241. I can provide you guidance. You can go to mortgage Express Mortgage, express-mortgage.ca, and you can see lots of things that I have shared on the website to educate you about this. So you can learn that, or you can call me directly, 416-451-3489. I can help you. So mortgage rate has only impact based on the risk that you carry. Can you afford this fluctuation in payment? If you can do that, then it's all right. The variable mortgage rate will not exceed the fixed rate at the time of the increase. Because unless the mortgage fixed rates are increased, variable will go up, fixed rate will stay. Let's assume you must have a right in the mortgage that you can lock into a fixed rate. So you think about that also, that you negotiate with the lender to make sure that you have that provision in your agreement, to make sure you are able to get that adjusted rate, just to avoid the risk. So there are lots of write-up about fixed rate versus mortgage rate versus variable. It can be low, and I think it's a good way of thinking about it, but as long as you can plan it. So if you are using a variable rate, your mortgage will be very cheap because you can afford it and you can pay it. This is why it's very important to make sure that you can calculate your total asset. When you talk about affordability, you look at the total management of your portfolio. How much asset you have, how much liabilities you have, what is your income is, what are your expenses are, and what is the risk factor. That's why you have an OFSI rule stress test. They built in 2% for variation as a stress test. That means if rate goes up to 2% higher than what you had negotiated, you still can handle it. That's why how they qualify you. So therefore, I do not expect a tremendous increase in Bank of Canada rates, but you can predict that there is definitely 2 or 3 small increases coming soon in March, maybe maybe in June or July. You're going to have that. There's going to be a change in possibly in our rate. But if you are using a variable mortgage, you shouldn't be worried too much because you still have that cushion. Because if instead of going to a 2.31, a 5-year fix, and you take 5-year variable, let's say 1%, 1.25%, or whatever, you are in a better position. And they will never shock the market to increase the interest rate very significantly. They're going to gradually improve that. So you will give, so you think about that depending on who you're dealing with. Rate varies. Is very important to talk to mortgage broker or consultant, or call me 416-451-3489, and I can give you some suggestion on that. You are watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada, around the world. If you are a builder, developer, lawyer, and mortgage broker, agent, or real estate broker, or brokerage, a plumber, electrician, all type of people who are involved with the construction, you should advertise in Awaz Entertainment. They have millions of dollars viewers across the globe, and monthly reading is almost close to 9 million and up. And you can watch. You can get a very special discount by calling 416-786-9809. This is or you can write info@awazent.com and get a special rate. Ask Ms. Jabeen to give you a special rate. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll come back and continue. We'll talk about market update.
It's good to dream big, to own a house and a business. Get residential and business loans Get insurance to protect your dreams. Get your children in university education without monetary worries. Invite your family from back home to share your success in Canada. Me and my team of professionals will help you under one roof to settle down in Canada.
Amber Financial and Allied Services. Call now. 647-887-1696. Amber Financial and Allied Services. All services under one roof.
Zoc. Now it's fully renovated. Live catering, barbecue, tandoor, जलेबियाँ और fresh naan. तकरीब आपके घर में हो या घर से बाहर. Zoc is providing full service now, and Zoc has opened a new banquet hall, garden event center. आपका Zoc देखकर लोग कहेंगे क्या Zoc है आपका? Call right now 905-625-7786. Zoc वालों के लिए.
डिक्सी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स और अप्लायंसेस पिछले 16 सालों से खरीदारों की खिदमत कर रहे हैं। हम लगातार 4 सालों से खरीदारों की पहली पसंद बने रहने का अवार्ड हासिल कर चुके हैं। हम किचनर्स, बॉश, वर्लपूल, एलजी, सैमसंग और जनरल इलेक्ट्रिक के ऑथराइज्ड डीलर हैं। 5 स्टार खिदमत का लुत्फ लें। हम आप सभी को टीवी सबसे ज्यादा रियायती दामों पर देने की गारंटी देते हैं। www.dixieelectronics.ca हमारी वेबसाइट पर जाएं या अभी कॉल करें 905-625-5900। सभी बहुत ही मुनासिब कीमत पर दस्तयाब हैं जो आप बाआसानी से ले सकते हैं। At Dixie, we sell quality and deliver confidence.
अगर आप चाहते हैं खूबसूरत विजिटिंग कार्ड, साइन बोर्ड, बिल बोर्ड, तो कॉल कीजिए अमनदीप सिंह को 416-577-5128 416 डिजिटल साइन। कॉर्पोरेट इवेंट्स हो या शादी की तकरीब, बर्थडे एनिवर्सरीज हो या हो बेबी शावर, और अगर आप चाहते हैं स्टूडियो सेटअप, रेंटल बैकड्रॉप्स, हार गजरे या पार्टीज के लिए फ्रेश फ्लावर अरेंजमेंट, देन कॉल आफिया खान at 416-628-7849. Essence Event Deco, creative, elegant. 416-628-7849. Essence Event Deco, creative, elegant, and unique.
Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awards Entertainment. My name is Tahir. I'm your host. We're going to talk about now 2022 January report. It's a market watch report from Toronto Regional Real Estate Board that I share the data. There are two very big significant MLS system, which is TREB and also ITSO. They do not share their data, so accuracy of information is as provided as I collect from TREB. So let's talk about the property. So when we closed 2021, in TREB data, there was 121,693 transactions. This is the highest record of transaction ever reported in the over 100 years of history of Toronto Regional Real Estate Board. Our average price, including everything, was $1,095,419. This is a general applied based on the total volume, based on the total sell data that we have, and this is the information. In December, our average price of 2021 was $1,157,812 in 416 and 419 area. Reason I'm going to share this information to you is because when we talk about a January to January, we're talking about January 21 to January 2022. But actually in December, there was very significant average price increase. Therefore, I want to share that information with you. So in December, the average price was $1,157,812. in the entire Toronto Regional Real Estate Board MLS system. An average price was $1,095,419 for 2021. Now let's look at the data now. In January compared to January, remember the January was low. So January 2021, we have a 6,888 transaction. In 22, we have 5,636. So it's minus 18.2 because they're comparing to January 2021 to 2022. Now, new listing, we had 9,438 in 2021, and we have 7,979 in January 22 as minus 15.5. So they're comparing January to January now. So now active listing, we are minus 44% as compared to what was in January 2021 to 2022, 7,396 compared to 4,140. 44% less available as compared to January last year. Average price. Remember I mentioned to you, the average price in January of 2021 was $966,068. And in 2022, it is $1,242,793. 28.6% increase average in housing from last January to this January. So imagine that. That is why your price is going up, because look, affordability is the issue. That is what the price is. Now, I look at the calculation between December and December 2021 to January is about 8% increase from January to December to January. The listing day on the market used to be 24 days in 21, and now it's only 13 days, 44.4%. And property day on market, 33 days. Now is only 18 days, minus 45.5%. Now let's go to the prices. So we'll talk about the detached home in 416 is, regardless of the size, is 1,886,413 in 416, and 905 is 1,702,143. That's a detached home. You have to talk to your realtor to make sure that you are dealing with a realtor who can determine the value of property or a specific property location, geographic location, and where property is on which street, because these are general information. Now, semi-detached home in 416, 1,471,535. These are all Canadian dollars. In 905, Sami is $1,236,081. In townhome, $1,080,284 in 416, and $1,083,801. It doesn't talk about condo townhome. It doesn't talk about townhome freehold. It doesn't talk about townhome freehold with parcel of tied land, POTL. It just talk about townhouse. Condo apartment in January 2022, 760,643 in 416, and average price 720,532 in 905. Let's look at the year-over-year percentage. So I'm not going to talk about sale. We already talked about the sale year-over-year change of price, average price. So detached home, 19.2% price change from January 2021 to January 22. And 19.2% in 416 and 30.4% in 905 area. Semi-detached, 22.1% percentage change, and 37.3%. So Sammy has sold more than the detached home in January 22. A townhome, 32.6% in 416 and 35.5% in 905 area. And condo, 21.7%, whereas in 905 was 31.6%. So you see, viewers, the affordability is a big issue, but look at the jump in prices. This is why our Ontario government has to work with the municipalities to expedite the approval process, offer some incentive to the builder, instead of creating a more red tape and bureaucratic process, hiring more employees than putting the money in the program. If they work with the builders who already own the land, they already have the building in construction, work with them to create more rental properties or create a program where people can buy it, they subsidize it, and they can buy it and pay back. Some countries may have some programs where the government will subsidize them and they collect the money. CMHC has a program, is called profit sharing, where a buyer can borrow up to 5 to 10%, and they will become an equity partner with you. They will not claim any interest if you live through the mortgage process. But if you cash the property ahead of time, then they want their money back. And you have to give the percentage of the profit that you have obtained, and that to calculate the value of their contribution. So look at the CMHC side, look at the program they have, and try to talk to a very educated, very competent professional who can guide you. So I want you to think about this. When you are buying a property, you're a first-time buyer or you are a buyer that has equity, please form the team. Get your real estate professional, your lawyer, your home inspector, your appraisal guy, your technicians or renovators. If there is an improvement need, get everybody together, form a team to make sure that you process, you work as a team, get advice. You pay the lawyer for closing costs. Why don't you talk with them and discuss your terms and conditions, the offer that you put in, to make sure your language is correct? Sometimes you need the option to assign the property to someone because you can't afford the mortgage. Your mortgage has been declined, or you think that you may not get it. So make sure that you have the clauses to protect yourself, have the ability to assign someone else instead of defaulting on an agreement of purchase sale, because it will have consequences. We're going to talk about that subject in the next episode. So you are watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. So we talk about affordable housing, we talk about mortgage variable rates and market condition. If you have any questions about real estate, I am a fellow of Real Estate Institute of Canada, broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. brokerage. Our office number is 905-785-9923, or my direct number is 416-451-3489. Please feel free to give me a call. We're looking forward for the opportunity to serve you. If you want to advertise on Awaz Entertainment, so you reach out to your potential clients around the world, I want you to subscribe Awaz Entertainment on Facebook, on social media, YouTube and Instagram and Twitter, and you can watch our Realty Coffee Talk episode on realtycoffeetalk.com and subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I look forward to see you next episode of Realty Coffee Talk on next Thursday at 7 p.m. Thank you. Bye for now. May God bless you all. May God bless Canada.